Personal branding is what big brands invest in big money to be seen as influencers. But what if you can establish your personal brand without having to break the bank? In today's video, I'm going to share with you my personal branding tips specifically for spiritual creative new coaches. These tips are gonna help you establish your brand and be seen more of an expert, increase your visibility, and gain recognition in your niche. Hi, I'm Marianaaspru, and I help spiritual creative new coaches launch signature programs that sell. But it's more than selling. It's about helping you live your purpose so you can feel valued for your gifts and finally make the impact that you're here meant to make. For spiritual and business advice, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when I post a new video. Now, some of you know that I started my business as a brand designer and consultant before becoming a coach. That happened by winning several branding competitions for a lot of influencers around the world. One of them was Dave Stewart from Eurythmics that gave me the opportunity to get flown to LA and really help them build their brand. I've also worked with Forbes leaders and like women empowerment companies. And by working with all those influencers, I know what it takes to build a brand that stands out, a brand that really gains recognition in your space. Now, here's the thing about branding. Branding is not about numbers. It's not about the numbers of how many followers you have on social media. It's also not about the logo, the colors, the presentation, or the style that you're showing up with. Those are elements of branding, and they are absolutely important in order for you to create a brand where people really trust you and they kind of follow you. Now, but branding is more than that. There is a difference between having a brand that looks good and having a brand that grows with you. The brands that grow with you, they are the ones where people are loyal to you, where you have loyal customers that come over and over to you instead of someone else. Now, I'll tell you in a minute what that means and how you can actually create a brand that grows with you and not just a brand that looks good and projects an amazing image. The best brands are the ones that they can combine all those elements together, like the logo, the colors, the presentation, and those elements that help your brand grow with you. Now, when you use the logo, the colors, the presentation, and so on, it's important that you project your own values and your story when you create those. That's what I call the image persona of the brand. But so many people understand personal branding in the wrong way. Now, personal branding expresses a value in terms of a feeling. Most of coaches, when they are putting a brand out there, probably they are instructed before to look at someone else's brands and look what they like in those brands and so on, and project those things that they like from someone else in their own brand. Now, that's not something that a fully aligned brand really looks like. That's because when you project the colors, the presentation, the looks of someone else's brand in your own brand, first of all, you would look like everyone else. Second of all, you're gonna project some emotional values that particular brand is projecting, and you're gonna start attracting the wrong people. You're gonna start attracting other type of people that they are not necessarily the right people for you. It may look good, it may look amazing, but now it's a difference between looking good and actually attracting the right people, that they are loyal to you, that they come to you, that they buy from you, and then they buy over and over from you. So what is personal branding? Personal branding is the promise that you offer to your customers. That's it. That is personal branding. It's the promise that you offer to your customers. This means you want to think about what do you stand for that you really want to help your customers with, and what is that value, that emotional value that you're really looking to project in order to attract these customers. Now, it may sound easy to find this one promise, but it's not easy. And I don't want you to put a lot of pressure on yourself to find that one promise overnight. It doesn't happen like that. The best brands are built over time, but you can start from the point that that there is something in you that you know that it's so important that you stand for, and just start speaking about that. Only when you do that, you can create a personal brand. A personal brand that creates loyal followers, loyal customers, and creates really, the authenticity that has to be in your business. Only when you know that one promise, it's the moment you can create a personal brand. And how you can create a personal brand around that promise? That's when you use this one promise and create all the elements of branding around it. The logo, the colors, the presentation, the way you show up, the way you speak, your tone of voice, your energy, everything that comes in your business needs to come around that one promise. And let me give you an example. If I speak about Nike, if you think about Nike, you will gonna immediately think about action. Let's do it. Go for it. All these like driven people that they are like, ambitious, that they are going for it and they don't take like a no for an answer. If I think about Apple, then I'm gonna think about maybe like think differently, creativity, quality, right? So each type of brand projects different values. And there are brands that they are like having the same kind of, let's say, promise, but when it's about the brand that they are projecting, they project a different emotion. They are projecting a different type of value system that they are looking to attract in their ideal clients. And I want you to think about that when you create your brand. Like, what's that one promise that you're standing for, so people can follow you and can be, loyal to you? Two brands that they are similar in terms of what they are selling can differentiate themselves based on their personal brand. But it's not just the outside image that you see, the logo, the colors, and so on. Those are the ones that they are like creating that emotional connection that it's needed in order to attract the type of clients that they want. But those, colors, logos, presentations are created based on the values that they are looking to attract in their customers. Each of those brands are looking to attract the same type of customer, that they have the same type of values that they have. They are looking to attract a particular group of people with the same desires, motivations, values, and aspirations in the world. The best way for you to really find this promise is to think about, why do you wake up in the morning? What motivates you? What gets you up in the morning? What is that thing that you're like kind of working towards, that you want to accomplish in your life, that that will gonna bring you like fulfillment, joy, happiness, and that your life will gonna be so much easier in that moment. But it also has to be something that you're kind of doing naturally, something that you're doing so natural that even if you wouldn't be paid for, you would still do it. So think about, what is that one promise that your brand wants to project in the front of your customers to be able to attract them and make them be loyal to you? And this is a promise that is unchangeable. So many people say that branding is, an evolution. Yes, it's an evolution, but there is a difference between having a brand that evolves with you compared with having a brand that is changing. Many people confuse the evolution of the brand with changing the brand. Now, when you do your brand and you create your brand based on your values and you project what you stand for, your brand evolves with you. It's not changing. Those people who are trying to change their brand like every single day, they are the ones that they are not creating a loyal base of customers. And why is that? That's because they are projecting an image and they are showing that they don't believe that what they are showing is really who they are. And this creates doubts in the mind of the customer. Now, when you have the same brand that projects the values, the story, the promise that you're having, then you attract the right clients for your business. And that's how you can create more visibility and more recognition for your business. Because consistency doesn't mean just being on social media and being yourself like 24/7. I actually do not recommend to be 24/7 on social media. Consistency means really projecting the same promise to your customers. So people, when they think about you, they know what you stand for. They know why they would come to you over someone else. They know why they would want to work with you and what kind of values you would gonna project and why do they feel connected to you. When you create your brand based on that solid foundation of what you stand for, the number one promise that you offer to your customers, you can create your mission, your vision, your core values, your beliefs, and all the other elements that means, the logo, the colors, the presentation, the style, all those things that then come together and you can create this ecosystem of a brand. And one of the biggest mistakes is that people, when they get in business, they don't actually know what they are standing for. And it's normal. I didn't know also completely what I was standing for at the beginning of my business. You may think that maybe, you stand for the fact that you wanted more freedom, flexibility, creativity, and so on and so forth. Those are, some qualities that you would want to have, like some ideas, some aspirations in some way, but that is not like the number one promise that you stand for. So you need to think about these things a little bit more deeper. I want you to think about something that you stand for, that you are you had already accomplished in your life, not something that it will kind of be in the future, but something that you had accomplished, something that you are, something that you naturally are, something that you are already doing it. I want you to think about what you're standing for as the promise, what really frustrates you in this world, what is something that that it's non-negotiable for you. 100% sure that no one ever will gonna convince you to have a different opinion about that. That is something that you would be able to stand for. Now, another thing is that many others are maybe they know what they are standing for. Maybe they know those values. They are so eager to really, speak their voice and really share their truth and really say what is in their heart. But the problem is now their brand doesn't really project what they want to say through their words compared with their image, their their presentation, their logo, their colors. Like when I'm looking at someone's, let's say, on the profile on the social media, or if I'm checking their website, and if they are projecting a really great message in terms of attracting amazing people, but the image, the way it looks, like the cover of a book, doesn't really expresses the same thing as the message in the words, then there is a disconnection there. And when there is this disconnection, that's the problem. When also happens a disconnection and a doubt in the minds of their customers. The problem with this is they are not projecting their promise through their image, and then the colors are not matching with their promise. Their logo is not matching with their colors. The presentation doesn't match with their colors. The way they show up doesn't match with their promise. So think about, is your brand projecting the promise that you're saying to your customers in terms of your logo, your colors, your presentation, the way you show up, your tone of voice, and all those elements? Or is there a conflict there? Do you know what you stand for? Do you know that number one promise that you offer to your customers, that they know why they come to you over someone else and why they want to be loyal to you? If you don't know that, then this is the first thing that you need to keep in mind. This is the first thing that you need to brainstorm. This is the first thing that you need to do. Now, if you know already your promise, but maybe your colors, your presentation and everything doesn't match up, think about how can you actually make those things match up. And if they don't match up, what is the reason why you are not having those matched up? Because when you don't pay attention to this, you may find yourself that what you're saying about yourself is not the same what people say about you. And a great brand And what I was telling you at the beginning, to be able to grow a brand and have, you know, this increased visibility and recognition, it's based on the consistency. And to create that consistency, you want to have those two elements, what you say about yourself and what people say about you, have it as a great match. They need to come together in the same way. If you say something and you project something different than what you say, people will gonna say something different about you, and they will gonna think that they come to you for something different. And if you want to put them together, it will not gonna work out. So make sure that your brand projects who you are from inside out. Your personal brand at the end, it's a projection of your core values, that they are internal, that they are then expressed in the external world. And when you put those both together, that's when you have a great personal brand. But if you're not sure about your promise and you're not sure about what you're standing for, or maybe you don't even know who your ideal clients are, then I have a free guide for you. It's called the Core Message Formula to Attract Ideal Clients. You can download that down below. And I cannot wait to hear more from you. I cannot wait to hear more what you learned from this video. Please give me your comments down below. Also, you know, like this video if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel, hit the bell to be notified when I post a new video. Join my Facebook group, the Fully Aligned Coaches group, where I come even more in detail about all these kind of tips that I'm giving you here. And you can also connect with other women in the same journey as you, so you don't feel isolated, you don't feel alone, and you really have all the full support. You can ask me questions, you can anytime contact me. You can find me at marianaaspru on Instagram, and you can just DM me and we'll talk from there. Until next time, I wish you an amazing day and we'll talk soon.